Hello everyone, I am back today with a great video since I am finishing up a book like as we speak. Y'all, this is deadline hair. I apologize, you're just gonna have to forgive me, but this was my only chance to do this video and to get the voiceover done. But I'm gonna show you, since I'm on deadline now and I'm gonna be starting a new book coming up this next weekend, I thought it would be a great time to show you how I plan my writing schedule to stay on track. And I also have a free download for you guys at the end of this, so stay tuned. Guys, now I am going to show you how I actually plan out when my release date is going to be and how I'm going to get through everything. So I'm going to be using just a little bit of washi tape, some Recollections dual brush pen, which is very similar to the Tombows, and then this is a SEPA pen. I got them from Amazon. They're just felt tip fine liners and I love them and they're very cheap, so they're great. And then I've been using this Happy Planner hardcover, which I'm not using like a planner insert. I've really actually been getting into making my own planner pages that I'm just showing you real quick here. If you guys want to see a video of the planner pages that I've made for myself to help organize my business, let me know. And I can do a video on those. I'm still using the Hobonichi, but I'm also using these to help organize my tasks. So this page that I've got right here is actually my writing plan page, and I'm, of course, if you know me, I am just putting a little bit of washi tape on there to make it look a little bit prettier, and right now I'm just trying to find like a prettier place to put it, because this is actually I've been using this system, but I didn't have like a printed page to use, so I made one to start using as I'm getting more into this year, because I've been writing more books this year than I have in a very long time. So it's just super important for me to stay on track, to look forward, and instead of just being like, it takes as long as it takes, to actually plan ahead and have a goal. I am really somebody who needs, I'm a super procrastinator, let's just put it that way, and I'm somebody who needs the guidance of a deadline. So this helps me a lot. So at the top here, I have a space to put the title of the book, which the one I'm about to start is Deceiving Darkness, which is my Shadow Demon Saga book 10. Then there's a place to put your word count goal, and for this book it's 90,000 words. And then my words per day goal, which means how many words per day do I plan to write on the days that I'm writing, which I have put for this book 4,000 words per day, which means that it should take me 23 days of writing to hit that goal. Then I've got places here that have all the dates, and I've got a space for the goal date and a space for the actual. So the first thing on there is the day that I'm starting, which is June 25th. So here's what else I do. I go in and I print out a Google Calendar, and I'm going to show you real quick how I do that. Okay, so I'm just popping in a recording on my screen real quick. This is just basic Google Calendar, and you go to the little settings bar on the right. It looks like a little cog, and you can click print. And when you do that, it brings up this print dialog. I like to click fit to page so that it all fits in one, and then I just print the month. Then I go back, print again, but change the print range to the next month. I know that this is going to take me through August, so I'm printing out June, July, and August calendars. So I like to click black and white so that it prints in black and white, and you'll see later I had to go back and reprint these, and I forgot to click black and white, but it's not really a big deal. Just depends, how much of your printer ink you want to use. So I just go in and print. You can change the dates and you can print out any given month. You do have to go in and change the view to month. I think it automatically sets to week. So just go into that right corner and click month and select the month that you're interested in. All right, so now back to the planner page. So these are the June, this is the June planner page that I have, just the calendar page. And I print these out mostly for planning purposes. I'm not going to actually use them in a big way when I actually start writing. But this is just to help me get a big picture view. So if I'm starting on June 25th, then what that means for me is I'm going to actually plot and outline the book. Now this is book 10 in a series, so I already have a lot of notes on what is going to happen in this. So it's only going to take me hopefully about a week to get started on a rough plot and outline. So now I've moved on to July, and for that Sunday, I'm marking that this is the date I want to have the plot done. So what I do in this section here is I'm writing down the start dates for things, and I'm writing down when the deadlines are, which just gives me a rough estimate of when things are going to get done. So the next thing is the rough draft that needs to get done. And like I said, I'm hoping for 4,000 words a day. And what I'm going to do here is mark out any days that I know I'm not going to be writing. Like I said, that gives me about 23 days on estimate that I need to be writing 4,000 words a day. But I'm not going to be writing every single day. July 4th, I marked off for the holiday with family, and then this entire week is going to be lost to the RWA conference. So I went ahead and marked all of that off. I marked the day before and the day after I get home because I know I'm going to be packing, and then I'm going to need some time to just rest when I get home. Then I figured that following Sunday, I'm really going to need an extra day of rest there too. July 11th is my husband's birthday, so I might work a little bit in the morning on that day, just depending on what he wants to do, but I'm not going to count that in. So this is a crucial step if you're trying to really estimate how much you're going to get done, how quickly, is you've got to mark off the days that you're not going to be writing and try to be realistic about when you're writing and when you're not writing. Because 23 days sounds like, ooh, I'm going to finish this really fast. But it doesn't mean 23 days from start to finish. It means 23 writing days. And there are going to be some people who don't write on the weekends and some people who only write on the weekends. Some people only can write, 200 or 300 words a day instead of 1,000. So you just sort of figure out what it is you need and how fast you can go, what you feel comfortable with. And for me, every book is different. 4,000 words a day is pretty realistic for the Shadow Demon Saga, but a week to plot it may not be. So we'll have to just see. So here I've moved on to August and I've marked the 23 days. And since it happens on the weekend, I decided to go ahead and give myself 25 days before I set the deadline because I might need a couple extra days to finish out the rough draft. So I'm writing my rough draft deadline for August 5th. Now I'm moving on to self-edits, which is just my own editing pass. Now I do edit some as I go, so it only takes me about 4 or 5 days, usually, hopefully, to go back and edit, and I do usually rewrite and add some things too, but I'm hoping that it will take about 5 days for self-edits, and then I can send it to my beta readers on that Saturday. Then I know my beta readers usually get back to me within a handful of days, so then I can send it to my editor on the 15th, which they should get it back to me also in just a few days. So I'm hoping to have it back by Monday where I can do my own final edits. I do some, I put in my beta comments before I send it to the editor, make some changes. Then after the editor sends it back, I make more changes and then do a final read through, which will take a few days. And then I'm hoping on that following Friday, I'll have it formatted and ready to send out to my ARC team. And usually I will release on a Monday, but it looks like for this, if there's any hope of getting this book out in August, it's going to be that last day of August because I like to send out my ARCs at least a week ahead of time. And I want to give myself a little bit of leeway because I'm really actually pushing pretty hard on this one. And to be honest, I'm not going to be surprised if it goes into September instead of August. But this is kind of my best case scenario. So now that I have all of those dates sort of planned out, I'm going to go back to my writing plan page. Sorry for the shaking there. I think I hit it when I was changing the page there. And I'm going to, add those dates to this schedule so that I can see it at a glance without having to flip back and forth always. So you'll see me flip back and forth to find and finalize the dates. But you can see that first one is the start date, then the plotting is completed by, then the next thing to fill in is the rough draft deadline. So I'd like to have that done by August 5th. Then edits completed by, and by this I mean my self edits, not the editor's edits, but my edits completed by, so I put in that date. And then that I want to have it sent to the betas by the following day, which is August 11th. And then send it to my editor, and any one of these things could get disrupted by betas taking longer to get it in, me being a week behind. There's any number of things that can happen. So it's good to keep in mind that this is just kind of like a best case scenario. It gives me a guideline to work off of, but I don't get too attached to the outcome. Like, I'm not going to be like crying if I'm a week or two off, because life happens and sometimes you can't force the words to come, and it would be great if they do come, but sometimes you need a little bit of extra time for things to flow, and that's fine too. I realized as I was going through it, I forgot to write in my formatting date, so I added that back in and hope to have it formatted on the 22nd and the ARC sent out on the 24th. And my target release date is August 31st. So now I've got all of that filled out, and when I go back and I'm actually writing, I will write in the actual date. Like when I send it to betas, I will write the actual date that it got done. And then at the very end, when the book is done, I will fill out this review, which is my final word count, the total production time, and then just kind of a review of how I felt while writing the book. What would I change about next time? Like maybe give myself more plotting time, or plan for only 1,000 words a day, and then additional notes that I might want to keep track of. So that is the planning page that I use to help me stay on track and hopefully get the book done on time. So there you have it. This is one of the main ways that I've been able to stay on track. I've been writing so many more books than normal. Like, I think I've mentioned to you guys before, if you follow this channel, that usually I write 2 to 3 books a year, which is great. That's a really nice pace for me. But over the last couple of years, I only wrote 2 books, but I started a bunch of series. You guys have heard this story before if you've been following the channel. And I'm really, really anxious to start a brand new series in 2019. So my big goal for this past year has been to quickly finish up the series that I have ongoing. It's always a balancing act in terms of making sure that I don't burn out, that I'm not reducing the quality of my work. But to be honest, since we moved here to Charleston, and I've got this gorgeous view of the marsh right behind my desktop here, and we can go to the beach any afternoon, and we do go quite a lot, it has really been really easy for me to refill my well and get back to work. And I find that it's just been a really inspirational time in my life, so I'm making the most of it. And in order to stay on track so that I don't procrastinate more than I should or get way behind, kind of get an idea of how far I'm going to go, I created this writing plan sheet that I just showed you, and it's really been helping me to stay on target and to know kind of how long everything's going to take. Now, most of the time, to be honest, I don't actually hit those targets exactly. It's just sort of a guideline for me to see where I want to be, and if it takes me an extra couple of weeks or even a month longer than I planned, that's fine, especially if it's because the plot isn't coming together or I just need more time to think through it. I am totally willing to push that schedule to the side to give it the time that it needs. However, it's a really good way to, before I start the project, to know exactly how long it could take me in a best case scenario. And if I get behind, how far behind am I? I really hope this is helpful for you guys in planning your own work and trying to figure out how long it will take you. And don't do any comparisons, please, by saying, oh gosh, it takes me 6 months to write a rough draft or a year to write a rough draft. Everybody has their own process. When I was first starting out, it did take me an entire year to write my first book. That one I scrapped, and then it took me an entire year and a half to write my second book, and I also scrapped that one for a long time. And it was only my 3rd completed novel, actually never mind, 4th completed novel that I published for the first time in 2010, and I had been writing steadily for 3+ years at that point. It just, after 25 books, it starts to get easier to know the plot, and especially because I'm on book 10 of a series, I already have a lot of this plotted out and I already know. So take it with a grain of salt, what my dates are. Use the process, not comparing anything to how fast I write. If all you can do is 500 words a day before you start to feel burned out or no longer inspired, then do 500 words a day and set that schedule up with that 500 words a day. Mark out the days that you can't use or you don't want to be writing. A lot of people don't want to write on Saturdays and Sundays. other people who have normal full-time jobs Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday are the only days they write. So take your own schedule, don't compare it to someone else, and make it work for you. But hopefully this will be a good guideline for you. And if you would like a copy of my writing plan sheet, you can get it over at my website at heartbreathings.com. I'll link it down for you in the description box below. All you have to do is follow that link down there and sign up for my newsletter list, and it will be automatically downloaded for you. If you've already signed up for my newsletter list, then all you have to do is enter your information again. It won't sign you up twice, but it should allow you to take that download anyway. And if you have any trouble with it, just let me know and I will send it along to you. All right, guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I have another video coming up this weekend, and then I'm going to start a plotting series as we go into Camp NaNoWriMo for July. So if you've been interested in hearing kind of how I plot and plan my actual books, I'll be having a, I think, 6-part series starting next week on plotting. So I hope you'll join me for that. Be sure to thumbs up this video and subscribe below and hit that notification bell so that you'll be notified the minute a new Heart Breathings video goes up. That's it for today, you guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.